aside from Sonic Mania, I think Sonic 1, 16-bit on the Genesis is the best classic Sonic game. I don't know, it just feels like a really comfortable game to play for me. Well, except for the GBA port, obviously. More on that later. The graphics have I've always really liked the graphics to this game, and I prefer Green Hill Zone over Emerald Hill, Angel Island, etc, etc. And even playing the original Sonic 1 without the spin dash, I can really enjoy it, I think it's still a fun time. Like, in my opinion, the levels aren't really built around the spin dash in Sonic 1, so it kind of works nicely. I think the only zone I dislike in Sonic 1 is Marble Zone, which in my opinion is a lot worse than Labyrinth Zone, mainly because it's an on-land stage, and I don't know, it's a really slow burn. You have to slow down a lot, push things around, blah blah blah. I just find it pretty annoying, personally. I actually don't mind Labyrinth Zone at all, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I don't know, I just find it a fun underwater level, surprisingly. Other than the boss, which is still awful, I don't find it that bad, personally. But that's just me. The Metal Sonic race in Sonic CD is genuinely awful. Reason I'm saying this, I think it's way too long and way too easy to die during that race. To each their own, but I'm just not a fan of it, personally. They really did not need to make two versions of the Sonic CD OST. As in, like, Japanese and Japanese Europe, the USA. I think it is. Could have just been all one, in my opinion. Like, I know it's variety and all that, but I just don't really care, personally. Call me crazy, but I don't even think Sonic Blast is that bad of a game. Yes, it looks bad, but it's quite stomachable, in my opinion. Like, it's playable. The only thing I really don't like about Sonic Blast is Blue Marine Zone, because who doesn't hate Blue Marine Zone? It's probably the worst water level I've ever experienced in a game. If you play through Act 2, you will know what the hell I mean. Triple Trouble is a meh game, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it's straight up a bad game. I just never really care for it as much as others. I know people love it because of the hooligans and shiz, but I just never really care for it. It's just kind of a game that's there for me. I don't know. Sonic R, in my opinion, is the best racing game. I can understand why people think Sonic R is bad, but it's the one I enjoy the most out of all the racing games. Banging soundtrack. It's a fun speed run. I don't find the controls bad or anything. Like, I genuinely do not. And also Metal Knuckles. I really hope we do get a remaster of this game one day with, more characters, more tracks, potentially online, but I don't see it happening, personally. Tails Doll's a genuinely awful meme, and I don't know how this creepypasta nonsense even made its way onto social media, if I'm being honest with you. Like, why do people give a shit? 3D Blast is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be, in my opinion. I think it's a pretty fun game. And also the Saturn version has the best special stages in the series, in my opinion. Really well designed. Best variation of the half-pipe. Tight controls. Nice graphics. Yeah. I'll be honest though, I can even play the Genesis version of 3D Blast and be fine with it. Like, I don't think it's that bad. I enjoy it. Like, I don't mind the isometric type gameplay at all. I think it's very unique, personally. Like, it gives a fresh new feel to a Sonic game, kinda, Big story in Sonic Adventure 1, in my opinion, it isn't even that bad. I think Big's a cool character in general and just gets way too much hate. And also, Big's story, in my opinion, is a pretty cool speedrun in SA1. I speedrun it before. It's like a 7-minute speedrun, and it is pretty fun. Fishing controls aren't even that bad once you get used to them, in my opinion. The Sonic Adventure 1 version of It Doesn't Matter for Sonic is my favourite Sonic song. E102 Gamma is way better than Omega. Just has more fun gameplay, in my opinion, and has an actual story to him, has actual characters to him rather than just, hey, I'm a badass bot who blows stuff off. I still like Omega, don't get me wrong, but I just prefer Gamma. And also I grew up with Adventure 1 more, so yeah. Creating the rabbit should have been the 100% completion reward in Adventure 1 instead of Metal Sonic. I've seen a lot of people say they hate the SADX versions of the SA1 models, but I personally think they look really cool. Like, the shining gloss, not even that bad at all in my opinion. I say this as someone who grew up with the DX remake, but I've literally never thought they look that bad. Same goes with the textures in the DX remake, like in general. Like, some of the textures do look better on the Dreamcast version, but you know, others look better on DX in my opinion. People treat the Dreamcast conversion mod in SA1 on PC like the second coming of Christ. Like, personally, I can live without it. Probably make a full video on that at some point actually. Like, I don't really see all the hype around that. Like, people are like, oh yeah, it's the best way to play SA1. Good for you. Like, I don't really care that much personally. I could play with either version's textures and be happy, you know? I just care about whether the gameplay is good or not, personally. I personally don't find Oma Child from Sonic Adventure 2 as annoying as people say. Like, I never really have. I've never thought Oma Child's annoying or anything. I think the Tikal hint balls from Adventure 1 are a lot worse. You always do my head in, basically, whenever the hell I activate one. I always try to avoid activating them. And you can't pause during Tikal's hint balls either. You gotta wait till the freaking dialogue finishes, which is pretty annoying in my opinion. Sonic Pinball Party on the GBA is more fun than Sonic Spinball in my opinion. Sorry, but that's just me. Really underrated game in my opinion, Pinball Party, go play it. Sonic Advance 2 in my opinion is the best Sonic Advance game. I know it's a bit controversial and it has some design issues in there, such as the SP rings and yeah, the accessibility of special stages, the bosses are kind of janky. It's faster than Sonic Advance 1, which I like, and it don't rely on maze-like level design like Advance 3 does. And also Advance 2 has cream, so, you know. I personally think Sonic Battle on the GBA is a pretty awful game. I could never play past 20 minutes or so. Like, I've given this game a couple chances. The most I can play out of it is like the first 20 minutes. I'll be honest, the battle system gets repetitive so quickly in my opinion. I'm just not a fan of it. Like, you do the same moves all the time and it just gets boring really fast. And also I don't really like the overworld thing you have to traverse throughout the story. I just think it's kind of pointless. Could have just done cutscenes instead, you know? Shadow the Hedgehog is a way better game than people give it credit for. Yes, the story design, the story itself is convoluted as hell, and it wasn't necessary whatsoever, but I don't know, I really like the gameplay, despite the slipperiness of it, and really makes you question what the hell they were wrong with the multiple paths thing. Just kind of wish, like, it was all one path, but bigger and with more stages, blah 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 blah. I personally really like the gameplay though, like, the gun gameplay really gave a fresh feel to the game. I don't think it made Shadow feel edgy or anything. I thought it was pretty fun, personally. Only stages I didn't really like were the Doom and Arc, I think it was. I don't know, man. Yeah, I personally think Shadow's just a really, guess you could say, chaos blast to play through. Also, the multiplayer in Shadow is really fun. I still remember playing it with friends as a kid, having a blast with it. I personally think it's really fun. Now, a lot of you may hate me for this one, but I think Sonic Rush OST is overrated. Like, I think it's okay, but not like, oh my god, it's super underrated. Like, I've heard a lot of people say that, and I personally don't see it. Like, people see it as the second coming of Christ in terms of Sonic OST. I personally don't see it. I'm sorry. Sonic 1's GBA part is one of the worst games I've ever played, which is not the unpopular part. I will admit though, I personally find the OST to be quite the bop, I'm not gonna lie. And also the bosses are pretty fun to mess around with, like you can get on top of them pretty easily to damage them. Not sure if this one's even unpopular anymore, but I personally find Sonic 06 to be an amazing game. It's actually in my top 5 Sonic games. Gameplay, in my opinion, is really fun. I personally think people overblow the glitch situation. Like, it's kind of the same in every 3D Sonic game. Like every game has a massive amount of glitches in them. Then bloody everyone targets 06 for like having like this unlimited amount of glitches. Like, it's not even that bad in my opinion. In my first playthrough of the game, I didn't even experience. I don't even think I experienced any glitches at all, if I'm being honest with you. My first playthrough was about a decade ago, but like, I personally don't think it's even that bad gameplay wise. In my opinion, the only like bad gameplay in 06 is Amy. She's way too slow, and maybe Silver at some points, but yeah. As for the story, I'm personally fine with it. Like, even Sonic's story, I think it's all, despite there nothing really going on, it's just Sonic rescuing Elise. Yeah, I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cutscenes. You know, Mephiles is probably my favourite Sonic villain. I understand why people dislike the story to 06, but I personally enjoyed it. There you go. And also, Elise is a passable character in my opinion. I think she's kind of cute. Like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I think she's a cute character. And also the kiss scene in the last story to revive Sonic, that never bothered me, like, at all. I gotta be honest. I think people overreact on it way too much, if I'm being honest with you. Like, it's fiction. Get over it. Also, yeah, 06 is a banging OST, so yeah. I really wish people would stop hating on 06 loading screens, because for those people out there who have played Generations' PS3 version, right, you will know they are so much worse, right? If you have not played the PS3 version, you will not know what I'm talking about, but they are so much worse, in my opinion, than 06's. And also, personally, I think the now loading thing has some charm to it, I'll be honest. It just looks nice for a loading screen, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Bit of an unofficial one here, but if you follow Sonic 06, you most likely know about the fan remake called Project 06. Now, personally, alright, bit of a hot take here, but I personally don't think the controls are really that amazing in that game. Like, I really gotta say, I really think, like, they're way too loose for what they are. Don't get me wrong, the game looks really good, the graphics are amazing. And the additions such as the spammable spin dash, and being able to move while bouncing, etc. are all really cool, but I just personally thought the controls in the original release of 06 just felt tighter. Like, I gotta be honest. Outside of the two Eggmen, I personally don't mind humans in the Sonic universe. They make decent additions in my opinion, and they just keep things fresh in my opinion. Like, look at the NPCs in Adventure 1 and Unleashed. I think they're pretty cool personally. I don't know if this is unpopular or not, but I sometimes see people hate on them, so... Secret Rings, in my opinion, is a good game. Not as good as Black Knight, obviously, but I still enjoy it. I think the story is good for what it is. The presentation of the cutscenes could have been a bit better, but I still like it. And I think the gameplay is fun from start to finish. Like, despite how slow Sonic is at the start, with the lack of skills and the controls, which in my opinion aren't nearly as bad as people make it out to be. My only big gripe with Secret Rings really is the mission structure. You know how you're forced to play random missions to progress without any indication on what missions to play? You know, that could have been improved on so much more. Like, it's kind of like that in Black Knight, but nowhere near as bad. Like, there are less missions in Black Knight, and it's kind of easier to know what you need to play. And also, Black Knight is a lot shorter, so... In my opinion, the game would have fared way better with more worlds, more get to the goal missions and bosses, and just like, you know, just like a traditional Sonic game basically. And also, I personally really like the ending to the story of Secret Ring. Like, cheesy or not, it works really well with the theming in my opinion, and yeah, it looks really good for a Wii cutscene, let's be honest. And cheesy or not, it works really well. It looks good. I find it pretty emotional, the ending. Gotta be honest. And also, I personally think Secret Rings is one of the best looking Wii games, if not the best one. And I'm being deadly serious with that. I think it looks really... Play it on Dolphin and you will see what I mean. Like, the graphic enhancements really... Like, they really do the game justice. Sonic Chronicles, in my opinion, is a decent game. The battle system works really well for a DS game and is pretty unique in my opinion. I really like the team attacks in there and, you know, the little touchscreen Osu kind of mechanics. You know, I've always found them really fun. In all fairness, I did grow up the game, so yeah, I won't really know what it'd be like if you first played it later on or whatever. I find the dialogue choices to be pretty fun to mess around with. And personally, I don't think the OST is as bad as people make it out to be. Like, I mean, it's nothing I'd listen to outside of playing the game, but, you know, playing the game, you know, it's something I can kind of jam out to. Like, it's not even that bad in my opinion. You know, I think people over-exaggerate on how bad this game's OST is, but that's just me. Sonic and the Black Knight, in my opinion, is the most fun hack and slash game on the Wii. And the only reason I'm talking about the gameplay is because, you know, it's not really an unpopular opinion to like Black Knight anymore. Like, it's gained a lot of love over the last couple of years. So yeah, like, at least story-wise, I still see people complain about the gameplay here and there. But yeah, it's personally my favourite hack and slash on the Wii, actually. Like, once you learn that combat system, it's actually really cool. And I honestly prefer it over the likes of, let's say, Twilight Princess or No More Heroes, amongst other stuff. If you want to know my opinions about those games, just ask in the comments, I suppose. But yeah, anyways, the DS version of Sonic Colors is an okay game at best, in my opinion. Like, they need to replay levels at certain points, and the level design is a bit questionable, in my opinion. Like, especially Asteroid Coasters. Like, it's so easy to die in Asteroid Coaster, I freaking hate it. And the bosses aren't really all that memorable, in my opinion. Apart from maybe the Supersonic boss. Speaking of bosses, one thing I don't like what they did with this game is merge the Terminal Velocity boss with, like, an actual stage. Like, could have separated them. I personally think it would have been better. But yeah, that's my opinion on the DS. I just don't think it's that good. I don't think it's an underrated game at all, personally. I can understand calling Sonic 4 Episode 1 bad. I mean, it kinda is. Level design wise, like, it's pretty awful. Like, even I've gotta admit that. I personally don't think the physics are as bad as people say they are, though. I think the game would have fared a lot better if, you know, Episode Metal in Episode 2. I personally think Episode 1 could have done much better with level design like Episode Metal's, but that's just me. Episode Metal has way better level design in my opinion. Anyways, Episode 2 in my opinion is really freaking good. Like, it's one of the best 2D Sonic games in my opinion. Also, another thing I want to point out is I've seen a lot of people in my time call Sonic 4's graphics like bad or plasticky. Like, I disagree personally. Ever since the reveal of Episode 1, right, I've always really liked the graphics of Sonic 4. Like, I think it's one of the best Sonic art styles, actually, personally. They just look really nice. Just my opinion, but yeah, I think they look really cool. I would personally prefer they come out of the Sonic 4 Episode 3 over another Sonic Mania-like game in the future, but that's just me. I love Sonic Mania, but I just prefer they did in Episode 3, Sonic 4. And to some extent, I do prefer Sonic 4 Episode 2 in terms of gameplay. I mean, I definitely have more of a fun time speedrunning that game than Sonic Mania. I mean, I enjoy both, but I prefer Episode 2 just more, to be honest. Sonic Generations on 3DS is the best Rush-style game in my opinion, and does do some things better than the console release. 3DS Generations also has the second best special stages in the series in my opinion, next to Saturn 3D Blast. And also has some really memorable boss fights, like, just fun to speedrun boss fights in that game in my opinion. I know some of the level design is questionable at times, like especially Radical Highway, but I do really enjoy it. It has some cool ideas. And if it weren't for the boost button, the Y button on my 3DS being jammed, I would, I'd probably give it another playthrough, but what can you do? The race levels in Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal on the 3DS, in my opinion, are way better than the Rivals games as a whole. And whilst for that, I don't really like the Rivals games that much, I personally feel they just feel way too clunky. If they were ever to do a Rivals 3, I would personally prefer that they use the Shattered Crystal engine for the races over the Rivals engine. I mean, they probably use a new engine anyway, but I don't know, I just prefer the races in Shattered Crystal. They feel faster and more fluid. I kill for a full game of those. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is a pretty relaxing game in my opinion, and nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. My only gripe with it is the overworld stuff, which in my opinion just feels really lifeless and very pointless. Like, it's just there, it slows things down for no reason, and yeah. The actual puzzles and stuff, the actual levels, they feel quite relaxing in my opinion, and the combat of the game isn't even that bad. Like, if you're a fan of the Werehog in Unleashed, which I am, it won't be that bad, trust me. Outside of the movies and Sonic Boom, I've seen a lot of people hate on Sonic with Blue Arms, and in my opinion, they don't even look that bad. They look kind of cool in my opinion. Like, people over-exaggerate on this. As much as I hate Sonic Lost World, as much as the next person, Zavok was honestly a mistake for villain, in my opinion. They just keep reusing him, and his design just isn't even that great in my opinion. It's just kind of boring. In my opinion, if they wanted to keep using Azeti as a Sonic rival, they could go with Xena or even Zaz. Like, I think it'd be cool to have a girl villain, or Zaz, he's got some pretty... I know he can be cringe, but he's got some pretty amusing lines, such as...
Where's that little punk? I've been dreaming about pounding his sorry blue butt!
Yeah. Sonic Forces is a pretty decent game in my opinion. I was even one of those lucky people who got an early copy a week before it actually launched. I got the Platinum Trophy like a day before the actual release, and actually thoroughly enjoyed doing pretty much everything in the game. I still go back to Forces every now and then, but it's quite the rarity. I did have a lot of fun with it at the time. I don't really play it as much nowadays, but do go back to it every now and then, even though it's rare. Won't mind playing through it again one day actually. I think, I think it'd be a fun time. Hell, even though I don't really care for classic Sonic being there story-wise, I do think, like, level design-wise, it does do some things better than Generations, in my opinion. I do think Forces could have been better overall, but, like, it's decent fun. I can understand why people hate on it, but I personally find it alright. I personally think Infinite is actually a pretty good villain. He has a good theme, despite how edgy it is, a really appealing voice, really good design, and in my opinion the Infinite's boss fights are the only good bosses in the game. I mean, we all hope he returns one day so we can get more out of him, like more lore, more backstory, blah blah blah. I personally thought he was fine in Forces, that's just me, but I personally don't even think Roger Craig Smith is that bad a voice actor for Sonic. Don't get me wrong, he's still my least favourite, like, main 3 Sonic voice actors, but he does do well. Like, especially in, like, the serious situations of whatever story. I just kind of wish they would tone down the jokes with him. It'd make him more tolerable, in my opinion. Just the thought of more expansive and open levels in Sonic games is pretty overrated, in my opinion. Like, I don't mind multiple pathways and like more linear stages, whatever, but I just don't really want more open stages. I just prefer them to be linear, fast, and fun, personally. Like, not Forces linear, but kind of like Generations, SA1, SA2 kind of linear. The reason I think this though, like, if you're a big Sonic fan, you'll most likely know the fan game Sonic GT or Grand Tour is the full name. Like, I played through that when it first came out, Sage 2020 or whatever I think it was. I personally didn't like it that much. I thought the level design, for the most part, was like really iffy, like way too open. Yeah, it just felt like way too open, and levels did feel really long. I prefer them to be a bit shorter. Yeah, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to get at here, but yeah. Cautiously optimistic about Sonic Frontiers though, and if they go for the open level gameplay in that, like, just hope they do it right. Sonic X overall is a decent anime. Even the dub was really good in my opinion, for the voice acting was really good. There was a lot of funny moments in there. In my opinion, the sub versus dub comparison in Sonic X, like, just watch either. I know there's a lot of stuff cut from the dub in Sonic X, but I just prefer the English voice acting and the funny moments, personally. I even think everything that comes before Season 3, you know, like Season 1, Season 2, I really enjoyed, like, the entire show. I know a lot of people say everything before Season 3 is really boring, or just they don't care for it. Like, I really enjoy it. Mr. Tanaka is the biggest chad in Sonic history, and I will die on this hill. Dude needs more love. He has the same voice as Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! He gets the girl, and he's got epic martial arts moves. What's not to love? Lucky from Sonic X needs to come back. I thought he was really adorable. Like, they could put him in a game at some point. Like, am I the only one who loves this character? Because I never see people mention him. Boko, Deco, and Bokun were Eggman's best companions, in my opinion. As much as I love Perfect Chaos and the Final Hazard in SA1 and 2, I personally think Sonic X did those fights way better. Like, I really love the action in them. I personally wish they picked Sonic Underground back up and finish it. I thought it was a really cool show as a kid, and I don't even think it's that bad as of now, to be honest. Like, it's probably my least favorite Sonic animated, like, cartoon, anime, whatever. But I think it's still, I think it's still alright. I just kind of want to see an ending to the show, because they made a vow their mother would be found, and they never found her. So Sonic Extreme, in my opinion, would have been pretty awful. Like, after playing through, like, a fan creation of it on Dreams, yeah, I just don't really like it. The level design is really weird, and the controls felt kind of clunky. Like, I know it's on a different engine than Extreme would have been on, but I just didn't really like it that much, if I'm being honest with you. I gotta be honest, I think they should stop using Metal Sonic at this point, unless it's, like, his own game. Kind of like Episode Metal, but, like, his own, like, fully fledged game. Like, in my opinion, he just kind of became irrelevant after Sonic Heroes. I know he's a fan favourite and all that, but I just don't really care for him personally. At least story-wise, like, yeah, there are better villains. Bit of a random one, but I think some of the Sonic LCD games are actually pretty fun to play. Like, if you're looking to pass the time on the bus or something, they're a cool thing to pick up and play. Might even make a tier list on these at some point, to be honest, because I'm kind of tempted to right now. So maybe, if any kind soul out there, by the way, is willing to give up their Sonic Adventure or Sonic Blast LCDs, because they're basically impossible to find these days, then please hit me up. I'd appreciate it. Hub worlds in Sonic games, in my opinion, are a great thing. Again, apart from Rise of Lyric, because honestly, I just think they give more life and freedom to the games. Anyways, that's it. That's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.